obviously the people that have already started businesses, they're already in it, right? You could be multiple years in. They know they're struggling. They have these pains. Something's hurting. They don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. What's your advice for people who are in the middle of it and are just stuck, walking on the treadmill, barely making ends meet? What do you recommend for people like that when you speak to them?
The first thing I want them to do is make them aware of one of the worst statistics from the Service Corps of Retired Executives had in their survey, was that absolutely true. 70% of those businesses that fail in their first 5 or 10 years never sought help. The business owners were confident and cocksure enough and arrogant enough to believe that they could figure it out on their own. And these are intelligent people. I know I was one of them. I've done this. It's not a measure of intelligence. Success in entrepreneurship is not an IQ test. There are very specific things you have to do to have a successful business. And if you don't do them, you're not going to be successful. And they're very basic things, but they have to do with business development. And they have 6 key areas that I call the business chassis that has to be in place. You have to be able to generate new opportunities through marketing efforts. You have to be able to convert those leads into clients through a structured sales process. You have to be able to provide excellent services and deliver on your promise to the clients, whether it be services or goods that you're offering. And they have to be so good that the client is willing to pay for them and pay for them again and refer you business and tell their friends about it, compared to all of the other alternative solutions that they have. Then you have 3 other jobs. My background's in music, so I kind of think of a business as an opera. You have what's on stage and what's backstage. So on stage in the opera, maybe you see Aida, you got the pyramids and you got elephants and people walking across stage and great pageantry, the triumph of Cleopatra and all the goods and things they're bringing across the stage. But backstage, it's really not the pyramids. This is made of paper mache, and there's scenery and drops, and there's pulleys and people operating pulleys and moving stuff around. And backstage for a business are things that, people see how you do your marketing. People see how you do your sales. People see how you're delivering your services to your clients. They're not going to see how you manage your money. They're not going to see what you're doing to manage people, to hire and train and fire people and manage them and have leadership development and mentor them. They're not going to see any of that. They're not going to see an operations and training manual. They're not going to see checklists and systems. There's a whole part of the business that's backstage. Now, a lot of technicians that create a business fail to see this. And so they go from one job they know really well working for someone else to one job they know very well and about 12 other less familiar, less pleasant jobs that they have to get done. And if they don't do them, they're going to go out of business. What I see with a lot of the small business owners, they get to the realization they don't know what the hell they're doing. Apparently, at least 70% of them are ashamed of this and don't want to reveal the secret. And it is a secret because it's a secret they've been keeping from even their own families in many cases. Because when I get a chance to look at their financial statements for the first time, the secret that they've revealed to me is they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're afraid to admit that. Then comes the intellectual that went to college, that was successful when they were technicians, and now they're on their own and they think, I'm smart enough to figure this shit out. Well, most of the time they don't. Only about 10% or even 5% now actually figure it out. And this is not grading on a curve. You go out of business, you're out of business. There's a really good interview that Inc. magazine recently did with Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. He admitted that of the business plans that he sees, he generally doesn't like to invest in a business with a first-time entrepreneur. And I'll paraphrase him. He was saying first-time entrepreneurs are just too confident and cocksure and arrogant. He's not even looking for humility. He said, what I look for is fear. He doesn't just want humility. He wants to see fear. And a person that's been through a business failure knows the consequences of that and how severe they are. And they're bad. And they've been through that. And they're going to have a little bit more caution when they present a sales forecast. They're going to be more careful about the expectations they have. They're going to be able to admit that no matter how good their solution is, it's not a panacea. And there are very few things that are. And that they have to be able to identify who is somebody they can actually help and somebody that they cannot help. In our firm, Venable Consulting, we have a very vast set of best practices. We have a very good rubric to be able to measure at what stage of business development a business owner is in. However, if the business is in a problem that we cannot fix, we're not going to sell a solution at any price. Our business is to find a solution that exactly meets the needs of our clients. And it's win-win if we can get that, and it's lose-lose if we don't. And that's a strategic objective in any opportunity that we have.